Welcome everybody to the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast, your home for all wrestling, everything wrestling. What's up, fellas? Happy Sunday to y'all.
What's up? How's everything?
Game 7, baby. Game 7. Love it. Love it and hate it. Love it.
It's do
But
or die. Do or die.
enough about the sweat. Let's get right into it because we are now in the do or die situations of wrestling because the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring tournaments are going heavily underway, getting better and better every week. So let's get right into it with this episode today. What we got going on, folks?
Yeah, so as you know, the King and Queen of the Ring tournament concludes on May 25th in Saudi Arabia. So they pretty much have 5 matches on the card as we speak. So we're just gonna go through predictions, see who you guys got.
Can we say finally that they finally went through with the tournament, and thank God it's actually happening? I mean, it was supposed to happen a while ago, and I'm actually happy to see that King and Queen of the Ring are back. So definitely shout out to them for that too.
Yeah, it's been a pretty entertaining tournament. You know,
Yeah, no, it has. It was. I know they were supposed to bring it back last year, but I'm glad that it came back this year, and it didn't disappoint.
Yeah, it's been pretty successful. We start off with which I believe will happen, the WWE Intercontinental Championship, a triple threat match. Sami Zayn, the champion, versus Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed.
It's a tough one.
So I really want to I don't know. I've been on the record for the longest. Chad Gable should have won the IC title. Mm-hmm. I really would love this end up being Chad Gable winning it and just Sami just pushing them as far as possible. I do not think that Bronson Reed will be relevant here. I think he's just involved. He's getting pinned. Whoever wins this match, they're pinning Bronson Reed and calling it a day. It'll probably be Sami. I'm gonna take Sami just because.
You think Bronson is there to take the pin?
Yeah.
No way.
Why would you?
Not the way they've been pushing him and having him do promos and vignettes. No way.
He's not winning the belt.
You never know with WWE. Never say never.
He's not winning the belt. There's no. Sami. Have anybody? Sami is the one that's gonna lose the belt after what, 6 weeks of being champ?
Yeah, but remember, Sami, like Soto said, it's long-term storytelling. I think Sami's gonna make his way back into another storyline we'll talk about later on. The Bloodline story.
This is about the storyline here is about Chad Gable going crazy, and Chad Gable.
It is, but it's gonna be one of those underrated matches where you're gonna get some big spots. You might get Gable do his signature suplex on Bronson Reed.
Actually, matter of fact, Soto, are we watching this at your spot?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. You know,
yeah. I put lunch. I put lunch that Bronson Reed gets pinned. I'm keeping Sami. I think Sami's gonna win it, but I really want Chad Gable to win it.
Usually the way it's booked depends who's gonna take the pin. So right now Gable's been looking like the asshole. So I think Gable's gonna take the pin. However, I do think Gable's gonna show out. And same thing with Bronson Reed and Sami Zayn. So it's gonna be one of those matches where it's gonna be fast paced, but it's gonna be hard hitting, and it's just gonna be.
I definitely see where B's coming from, because it kind of reminds me of the triple threat match that we recently saw, right, with Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Right. And Kevin Owens was just plucked into that triple threat match to take the pin. So I think in B's head, it's like, all right, that's the same reason Bronson Reed is inserted into this match, to take the pin. Right. I personally believe that it's too short of a reign for Sami to lose it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I have Sami retaining. Would I be surprised if any of the two win the championship? No, because they have their reasons. I mean, they both have been on the come up. Gable recently turned heel, new character direction. But I don't think that's the plan now for Gable. I think once he fully, leaves Otis and Tozawa, and let's play the what if game, if he recruits the Creed brothers, right? I feel like that's when you can put the title on Gable.
So you're saying you're going to swap basically Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine for basically the Creed brothers, and probably
absolutely. That's the way they should go. And then once that happens, I think then you could put the title on Gable.
Yeah, he's not. I knew Gable wasn't winning it. That's definitely.
Yeah. When it comes to Bronson Reed, it's like, yeah, ever since he's returned to the WWE, we've seen highs and lows with him. So right now his booking has been a little inconsistent.
Right.
Maybe a title victory can change things for him, but again, I just don't see Bronson Reed happening here. So I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn to retain here.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that too. Probably Sami Zayn would retain as a short reign, but I think, like I said, like my dark horse pick would probably be Bronson Reed, just because, in my mind, just because of the booking, I think Chad Gable has bigger plans for him. Reestablishing himself as the dominant heel faction, eventually with the impending change probably of the Creed brothers and Ivy now being involved with
He
Maxine,
needs the belt.
obviously
That's
now.
the case.
So
Yeah,
I think that somehow Gable is going to have a belt in the future, along with the Creed brothers and maybe even Ivy. They'd be like one of those dominant stables that sort of how the Judgment Day had all the belts. It'll be something like that. What better way to build a faction than have everybody have a belt?
yeah, no, I see where you're getting with this, and then when I mentioned Chad Gable winning the title, like let's say if he does recruit the Creed brothers, like that's
Right.
when you can have the rematch between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, but then this time the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile get involved, helping Chad Gable pick up the victory. So that's why I went with that
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, I agree.
Next match on the card for the Women's World Championship, the champ Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan.
It's an interesting one because obviously we know there was the rumor of Becky Lynch taking time off, even though it's sort of debunked in some strange sort of way. Um, then again, you never know if maybe she was sort of like a placeholder until she could take her time because of all the injuries that happened and they could get a proper storyline. It would be interesting though if Liv wins and then they further the storyline with Dom and Rhea comes back and Rhea has to face Liv for the title. Would be interesting for storytelling purposes, but I think for that purpose, I'm honestly gonna go Liv here just for the storytelling purposes, long term storytelling, building and everything like that, building towards Liv and Rhea Ripley down the line, maybe at SummerSlam if Rhea gets cleared by then. I think that's the direction going. So I'm gonna go Liv here.
Okay.
I'm going with Becky. It was
Ooh,
it,
you went
red
with the
hot
champ.
does not matter. It like you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
They'll wait for Rhea to come back and then take the belt back or whatever how you want to go about it. But if Rhea didn't lose it at Mania, there's no reason for her to not to have it now. So
So, um, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going to be different here. I'm going with Liv. And the reason why I'm going with Liv, it seems like as of late, when it comes to like in ring wise, Becky Lynch has gotten the best out of Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's singles, whether it's the battle royal, and those were times where I think Liv
It's
should
the
have.
build up. It's the build
Yeah,
up, like you said.
Liv should have won, but we're seeing a completely different Liv Morgan right now, and maybe we're kind of like I think we're in for a swerve in terms of we've seen certain things regarding Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, right?
Right, what I was mentioning before. Yeah.
Like maybe maybe it's early, but who knows? Maybe as a swerve, he gets involved. They're starting to do this storyline with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. It started with the face off, right? Well, no, actually,
Right.
scratch that. It started with Liv Morgan telling Rhea, "We're taking everything. I'm taking everything from you," right? So everything includes the title, uh, the boyfriend, right? Everything. So uh then I think what was it, Jay or somebody was getting interviewed, and then we see Liv Morgan leave a locker room. We see Dominic Mysterio a couple seconds later leave from the same locker room. Then we see a post of um well, we see Dominic Mysterio rocking a purple bandana throughout the night. Then all of a sudden it goes missing. Then we see
Yep.
a post of Liv Morgan, and then in her like pocket or whatnot, you see a slight, image of the purple bandana. So, and then Dom liking all of her posts all of a sudden. So something's brewing. Maybe it comes to full light on May 25th. But yeah, I just think it's Liv Morgan's chance right now. It's her moment. Like I said before, Becky's been dominating her in every aspect, and then as of late, you see the momentum swing towards Liv Morgan, and I think it's Liv's time. And you know what? She would be a great women's champion, to then eventually set up Rhea Ripley's return.
It only makes sense booking wise, like I said, which is why I picked Liv, because you're talking about the long term storytelling. We know Triple H is a long term storytelling person. It makes sense for Liv to do it. It also makes sense in Becky's sense too, because she sort of needed that break. Obviously, we know Seth Rollins is down with injury, and Becky, I'm sure, is probably beat up too, and she's been a great champion whenever she's won the belt. So let's give kudos to her for that. But for storytelling purposes, obviously, I think it's going to be Liv. So I agree with Soda.
Yeah, and before Rhea got injured during her storyline with Becky Lynch, Becky Lynch sucker punched Dominic Mysterio. So I think pay close attention to that, because there's going to be repercussions for that, and it's going to be Dom costing her the title.
So do you think if Dom does do that, you think Dom betrays the Judgment Day and Rhea by doing that?
Yeah, I think no. So I think eventually, just this past episode of Monday Night Raw, right? Backstage, the Judgment Day, Damian Priest asked Dominic Mysterio, "Oh, are you and Rhea, okay?" And then insinuating that there's something going on there, right?
Yeah.
We just don't know what, right? I think eventually Liv Morgan pairs with Dominic Mysterio. Dom will turn on Rhea. I think that's the plan going forward. Now, as you know, the Judgment Day goes, everything's up in everything's up in the air.
So is Rhea coming back as a face in this feud?
Absolutely, 100%.
So pretty much, I think Judgment Day will pretty much be done by then, because obviously they've been teasing Damian Priest as being a face and house shows and everything like that. And I saw him do the Jey Uso yeet thing in the house show, which is pretty cool. And the house show was so over. So that's basically down the line, but it's going to happen sooner rather than later. So it's going to be interesting.
Next we have, all right, so this is multiple parts. The Queen of the Ring finals. So we have the final four. Io Sky, who is going to face Lyra Valkyria, and then we have on the other side on SmackDown, Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax. Those are your final four. If you had to narrow it to the final two, who are you guys taking?
Don't matter as long as Bianca wins. I might be Lyra, honestly. Like the way everything goes, like her push has been absolutely nuts. So it's like, why would you not? She's gotten this far. Why would you not give her the nod? You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I think I know where they're going, but Bianca's a good pick.
You have Bianca?
If Lyra wins it, I'm like,
I don't.
right, well, there goes your push.
I don't, but definitely it's a good pick. I'm not gonna trash the pick.
Soda,
who you got? Who you got, Soda?
I'm really stuck between Lyra and Nia Jax. Because all right, with Io Sky and Lyra, I feel like Io has, recently just finished becoming, women's champion. And I feel like Lyra, she's the up and comer, and you want to push her. So I get pushing her to the finals, just to build her up a little bit more. So that's why I have Lyra defeating Io Sky on the Raw side. On the SmackDown side, we have Bianca Belair and Nia Jax, and I don't know. I feel like it's too soon to, for the seeds, to be planted for Bianca and Jade. I feel like eventually that's what's going to happen.
Would have been a hell of a match, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but I feel like Nia will win, maybe by with a distraction by Jade, like inadvertently.
He's early tension. Yeah,
or like a disqualification that allows Nia Jax to advance. So that's my finals right now: Lyra versus Nia Jax. And in terms of a winner, a lot of people are not going to like my answer, but I'm leaning towards Nia Jax. I feel like
the way they booked her too is interesting.
Yeah, since her return, she's had like dominant runs, but then at the end, like she's come up short, right? And I feel like the Queen of the Ring for Nia is just a perfect fit because it's like, all right, you know what? We're not going to put the title on her, but maybe we can give her the Queen of the Ring, right?
Do they get a title shot if they win the King of Queen of the Ring?
Uh,
They haven't said anything about it. I'm not
well,
sure.
I'm not sure, but if it happens, it makes sense because not too long ago we saw Nia feud with Bailey. So just to like pick that up again, it makes a lot of sense. And then Lyra will look strong in defeat. And you know, Lyra is going to be one of those like top prospects, you know, and a major player in the women's division for years to come. So, you know, a loss at the finals doesn't really affect Lyra. I just think out of the four that we have here, the most to benefit from this is Nia Jax.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
And
the way they can push it.
it's a whole new gimmick that she can come up with and ride with. You
Yeah,
know,
she's been good in her return too. So that's another thing to positively say about Nia. But since we all have picks and we're all being different here, I'm gonna be different too. So I'm gonna pick Io to win it all.
okay,
Now, I the reason why I did it is because if they get the title shot, you're gonna run it back. She's gonna try to run it back against Bailey.
okay,
Makes sense for everything. Obviously, you know, they sort of never had that real closure with it. It was sort of just like Bailey won and they just dipped. And we know how damage control thinks. So, but I will say this: Lyra and Io are going to put on a hell of a match. It's
hmm
probably going to be like a Jay and Ilya match type thing, where it was just a banger of a match, and just one of the most underrated matches, but best matches on the show.
right.
And then in the finals for SmackDown side, I'm going to go with Bianca Belair. Now, remember, Io and Bianca Belair have history. Obviously, what happened with that, so it would be an interesting finals for those two to run it back. So my pick for the women's side would be Io, and then the final match would be Io versus Bianca because of the history.
Okay. And then B said he has Bianca Belair going all the way.
I'm going Bianca.
Got you. Then we move on to the men's King of the Ring final, in which the final four is Gunther, Jey Uso.
Gunther, and more Gunther. It's all going to be. We all know what it is. If you pick otherwise, you don't understand what's going on. It's going to be Gunther. There's no way.
Gunther, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, and Tama Tonga. So B basically
Gunther, yes.
already said Gunther. Please elaborate.
Why? How would it not be Gunther? Nobody thought Orton to win it. I mean, Tama Tonga is not going to go ahead and get involved with fucking Gunther. The Bloodline wants no parts of Gunther. Let's just call it out how it is. So
yeah, but remember, Gunther's facing somebody
coming up short. It just it is what it is.
But yeah, but you're gonna. Here's the question: it's either you push Gunther, who's a monster, or you push Jey Uso, who's also on a monster run right now. So that's the question, $1 million question right there.
Is the best wrestler on the roster.
I'm not saying he's not the best wrestler. Hands down, but I'm saying you got two white hot guys.
That's okay.
On the side, you have to figure out. And then on the SmackDown side,
they made a decision when it came to LA Knight, right? And LA Knight was at one point when he was at his peak, he was the hottest wrestler on the roster.
Yeah, but LA Knight
worked out with LA Knight.
Yeah, but listen, LA Knight's gonna get his. He's gonna get his because we already know.
Right, so he'll get his. Gunther.
With Logan Paul. So
Walter.
My thing is,
give you all the names.
we have a story in here that a lot of people are talking about that's sort of being swept under the radar is Jey Uso and Tama Tonga. We're talking about the Bloodline Civil War that's impending.
You can do that not in the final because
you can.
Randy Orton's going to make Gunther look even better.
You can, but the Bloodline storyline has been dominating for how many years now? And what are we're 4 years, and we're going into the new layer of the Solo Sikoa bloodline versus the Roman Reigns bloodline. So what better way to push?
No parts of Gunther.
What better? Yeah, but he's not going after Gunther. He's going after Jay.
That's okay. So he'll fuck him over this week, and Gunther's going to win.
All he has to do is attack the wrong person and get a disqualification, and that person goes to the next round. Realistically, or Jay could win because remember, Jay is over right now. Jay is extremely over.
Right.
So it's a hard decision. Yes, Gunther is.
How many times was Cody over and Cody still lost matches?
Yeah, but that's storytelling though.
No.
So let's break it down. Let's break it down in a storytelling sense. Right now, what storyline is Gunther involved in, and what storyline is Jey Uso involved in?
The storyline of Gunther is winning the King of the Ring. What are we doing?
Okay, but what about Jey Uso? Jey Uso's an ascending star that's trying to get the King of the Ring, but he's also about the bloodline.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
why are you
also
going to
about
push
the bloodline.
Gunther from not to win it? Jey Uso's been taking. Jey Uso had plenty of opportunities to win matches, and he didn't win the matches. But
Oh,
he came to win the big
but he
one.
get better.
We,
That's
have,
the Cody does.
we
That's the
spoke
Cody
on
does.
this.
You know that, though.
We spoke on this weeks ago,
Yes, I remember.
and I've been on here, and it's on the record. Yeah, Jay's gonna do what they did to Cody, what they did to Cena. Win, lose the big one. Win, lose the big one. He's gonna lose to Gunther. Gunther's going to win King of the Ring. You handle that business, and Jay's gonna keep going this big rise and fall off. How y'all put it? You just said that to yourself, Henry. Big rise, fall off. Big rise and fall off. And at the end of the result, at the end of the day, when the match is at the biggest peak, he's gonna win it. It will not be King of the Ring.
Let me put this.
King of the Ring.
Let me put this in a better way. Either direction they go, either Jey Uso or Gunther, I'm fine with, because guess what? We have another pay-per-view coming up.
So
Money in
why
the
are
Bank.
you copping out? Why is there a
Money in the
cop-out?
Bank?
So you rock with Jay, you rock with Gunther.
I'm gonna say Jey Uso, honestly.
Okay, so stick with that. Don't put a cop out saying no matter who we pick. It doesn't matter.
No. It is like that, because either way, they're both going to be fine. Because if you pick Gunther to win King of the Ring, Jey Uso wins Money in the Bank. If Jey Uso wins King of the Ring, you have Gunther winning Money in the Bank. So either way, it's a win-win situation for both of them.
If you're gonna keep building Jay being this guy that gets so close not to win it, which he's been on record several times in doing so, then you might as well have Gunther win it now, have Jay go Money in the Bank, and have him try to cash in at some point. Which probably against Damian Priest.
So my logic is Gunther's a heel now, correct? Even though it seems like they're trying to push him as a face, sort of ish.
How often have we had heels win these tournaments?
A couple times.
It's always been heels winning these tournaments. For the women's, mostly faces.
But that would make
a lot more often now has been heels.
It would make sense for a face to win it and then a heel to win Money in the Bank, because think about it. If you go by Gunther, how ruthless he is, how he beats the shit out of people. Winning Money in the Bank, Gunther's not going to care who the hell he catches in on. If somebody injured and they win the championship or retain, Gunther's going to be ruthless and come in and powerbomb. He's at 1, 2, 3. So I think the Money in the Bank fits him more. But like I said, either way, I'm going with Jay. But either way, I would be happy with whoever wins, because it's
so you got that.
It's good booking.
Don't throw the cop out on my bet.
It's good. And then as the Tama Tonga side and Randy Orton, Randy Orton's going to win. That's a given. But it would be interesting if Tama Tonga wins and we get Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. That would be interesting, because we got a lot of X factors and a lot of players that haven't come into the board yet, aka Jacob. Don't forget, we still got Jimmy out there with a supposed injury.
He's actually hurt. I don't know if he's actually back from said injury, but I know he's actually hurt.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything
long-term, not long-term. That I have no clue.
I don't think it was anything major. I think for storyline purposes, they're going to keep him out for a little bit. Obviously, remember, he just had a match with Jay.
If Jacob and everybody, if the bloodline shows up to ruin Jey Uso Money in the Bank, that sounds a lot more exciting than him for King of the Ring.
SummerSlam, where it's going to be popping this year. Let's go with that. Be honest with that.
So, yeah.
But my pick is Jey Uso. So Soto, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hey,
go say Randy Orton. Go ahead.
No. I'm not taking Randy Orton, because Randy Orton is the person that least needs this King of the Ring victory.
I agree with that one.
So it's not Randy Orton. So I'm really torn between Jey Uso and Gunther, and the reason why is because the gimmick of King of the Ring is better suited for Gunther, right? I think when it comes to that gimmick, it best describes Gunther.
Right.
Now, it's just the momentum that's been on Jay's side for the past couple of weeks, like in terms of merch sales, in terms of fan interactions, in and reaction, right? It's hard to bet. It's hard to bet against Jey Uso right now, and I feel like you can have one of those shocking moments if Jey Uso beats Gunther, because right now, if you look at the matchup, I think Gunther's a heavy favorite, and I think a lot of people have Gunther over Jey Uso.
I shall be admin saying I am one of them.
Yeah, and I feel like on the other side, right, with Randy and Tama, like, I feel like Randy can put Tama over. Maybe the bloodline will get involved, and kind of like what Henry said, it makes a lot of sense when you have Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. We saw in the last pay per view a stare down, right, an interaction between Jey Uso and this new bloodline, right,
Yeah.
kind of like insinuating that things aren't over, like it's gonna happen again, we're gonna cross paths again, right? So it makes sense if you have Jey Uso and Tama Tonga in the finals, with Jey Uso picking up the victory, because that's when the bloodline 2.0, whatever you want to call it, strikes, right, attacks Jey Uso, and you can set up a Jimmy Uso return,
Right.
thus reuniting the Usos. But I don't know if you want to do that right now, because Jey Uso as a single star has been killing it. So for me, as much as I want to give you guys an answer, I'm not going to give you an answer.
No.
I'm not going to
answer
give
that.
you an
We're not
answer
doing this.
because it's hard. This one
You
is
know
like
what? Life
I'm
is
really
difficult.
torn.
Game
Well,
7 is difficult. This is not difficult. Make a
So
decision.
I'm gonna say one thing though. A comment that we got on Instagram from Eric Gomez 214 before about talking about this particular thing we're talking about, is he agreed with B saying that they don't have to do it in the final. But my thing was, yeah, either way, you get Randy versus Gunther. It is money.
See, I got a
But
fan saying, yup.
but
Yup.
my thing is, you like I
Gunther.
said, you can go either direction. You can go Gunther, Randy Orton, or you can go Tama Tonga and Jey Uso. Either way, it's gonna be money.
Man,
yeah,
fuck all that.
there's
Yo, Soto, give me a decision.
out of all the matchups, you are not getting a Gunther versus Tama Tonga. You're not getting that.
No.
But then you can see either Gunther or Jay versus Randy Orton, or Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. Like it's super hard.
Yeah, I agree. It's very hard.
You have 4 options: A, B, C, or D. Soto, who are you picking?
All right, so as much as it makes sense for Jey Uso to be King of the Ring, I'm not going to change my pick. I did say Gunther was going to be King of the Ring, so I'm sticking with Gunther. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Jey Uso.
So Jey Uso's your dark horse.
Won the whole entire thing.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, before, like, once like the participants for and the brackets and whatnot was posted, I picked Gunther. But then once like the quarterfinals and I saw Jey Uso was there and Tama Tonga, I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That this could be a possible finals matchup. But listen, Gunther versus Randy Orton in a finals, that's
money.
That's money. So
yeah, I said the same thing. That's money.
Yeah.
Just imagine the merchandising of Jey Uso wins King of the Ring. That's all I got. Think long term merchandising.
Yeah. Then we have the main event for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes, the champ, versus Logan Paul.
Next, Cody's winning.
We know Cody's winning.
Yeah, I think this is the most predictable one.
Next,
there's not really looking into this match. I mean, I'm excited for it because I'm excited to see what Logan Paul does. Every time Logan Paul wrestles, it's like, all right, what trick does he have up his sleeve? Or, how is he going to perform this time?
I think he has to have some tricks. I agree with that. And I think a certain somebody, megastar that B was talking about earlier, is going to be involved in that match somehow to stop the tricks from happening. And that's going to set up their feud.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, with the face-off that we saw backstage between Logan Paul and LA Knight, I feel like that's the matchup for the United States Championship at SummerSlam, right? In terms of Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul, this being only for the undisputed WWE Championship, there's no way Cody Rhodes is losing it.
It makes sense.
Zero.
I didn't like that they were doing. They were going to do title for title, one person to win the other, both titles. They changed it. I didn't like that too much.
No, I just didn't. I think they went the smart route, because it's like, again, if you have Cody Rhodes win the United States Championship, yes, that's another feel good moment, but you're keeping another title hostage.
You don't want to go down that route.
Yeah, and you don't want to go that route that quick. We've seen it recently. So, Yeah, it would have been a nice moment, but it's not the time. So I think we're all in agreement that Cody Rhodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not given. We don't really have to talk about debate that.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
Let's get further into detail regarding. Listen, we've been bringing him up week in, week out. Uncle Howdy. I feel like we're on the verge of the reveal of Uncle Howdy, the return, I should say, and the return of this new family that he's, I guess,
At
created.
finally revealing the Y6.
Yeah. Uh,
Now, the question is, when do we get it?
so based on the last, what was it, the last QR code, a lot of fans, wrestling fans, dissected it, and they said that the possible reveal might be in Saudi Arabia
That's
at
what
the
I was thinking
king
too.
at the King and Queen of the Ring event. Now, is it Uncle Howdy by himself? Is it with the family? Does he appear by himself, and then week in, we start seeing, we start revealing, each member. We could get one of those, but this past week, the WWE Twitch account was hacked by Uncle Howdy, in which they released a 55-minute video of a therapy session, right? Which was the Fiend's original therapist, right? Um, which was kind of like, there were a lot of QR codes were thrown throughout the 55-minute video. Um, what do you like? What do you think this all leads to? Obviously, this all leads. I'm sorry, this all leads to Uncle Howdy's return. But
Right.
what other clues did you get from that 55-minute video?
I still feel like they're holding out because they're trying to get Alexa Bliss to be part of it too, because obviously she was a big part of the Fiend
Yeah.
and everything else. I think she's been working to try to come back. I feel like somehow they're trying to get Braun Strowman involved in there because logistically and just for purposes, it makes sense to have those two involved with it. Yes, obviously we're getting Bo Dallas. We already nicked the names. We got Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, Nikki Cross makes sense because of her history with Alexa Bliss, and we got Eric Rowan. So I mean, it makes a lot. It like it, yes, I believe it makes a lot of sense. But I think, in a sense, it's going to be essentially them honoring Bray Wyatt by doing the Y6 actually having 6 members, as opposed to having 5 members and having Bray Wyatt be the 6th member. I think they'll really go down the route and have 6 members, as opposed to having 5 and then having Bray Wyatt, who would have been the 6th member. I think what better way to honor him than fill up the whole faction with people he was close with in the industry: Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan. We know he was close with a lot of people. We know he was close with Becky, Seth Rollins, everybody. But the people that he actually did a lot of the storylines with, it's going to come full circle. If it comes Saudi Arabia, fine. Honestly, the way they've been doing the QR codes and everything like that, if they keep it going all the way to SummerSlam, I'm for it too.
Yeah. I think so, but just the fact that all signs lead to them probably debuting at this event. At the end of the 55-minute video, it's just like all the details has been perfectly executed. At the end, the therapist says, uh, you know, who- you know, she's handed a paper that says, "Do you want to meet them?" Right. Um, and then she questions it by saying, "Oh, who are they or whatever," and then it just cuts off and disappears. Like that's all cinema. It's all cinema. I'm pretty sure they're making Bray Wyatt proud, and obviously this is to honor him and his legacy. So, like I mentioned last week before, like this is Bo Dallas's time to shine as Uncle Howdy.
And Bo Dallas is just as smart as his brother was when it comes to being creative. So
Yeah,
we also got to give shout outs to him because he's one of the masterminds of Uncle Howdy and everything else. He is a genius.
Can we just give a good appreciation for Bo Dallas? Because last time we seen him, he had that fucking terrible gimmick. Terrible gimmick.
He was over though, but he was terrible gimmick, but he was over.
Overly terrible. That's what he was. He was fucking atrocious. But the fact that he had that, now he's come back to this, it's crazy how things change.
Yeah.
Well, think of it like all the other wrestlers that left WWE or took a hiatus and came back. There's a lot of them that have done it and quite successful. Cody McIntyre.
Okay, he went from that to fucking now he's the GOAT. The time has changed. Time has changed for a lot of people.
Guess what? Who else? Drew McIntyre.
I'm gonna throw another. I lied. This shit was trash, but 3MB.
I'm gonna throw another name. I'm gonna throw another name out there that I know he's part of the bloodline now. We got Tonga Loa. You guys remember who he was before he was Tonga Loa in WWE? Soto probably knows. I'm sure.
No.
Oh, Camacho.
Yep. He was Camacho.
He was Camacho.
They had him on some indie. I think it was AEW or some indie joint. Whatever it was, he was terrible. He never hit no punches, no kicks, no.
He was Camacho. So yeah, another one. So shout out to Uncle Howdy. Shout out to the Wyatt Six and everybody coming soon. We can't wait to see what it turns out and how Beast is going to be, because it's going to be fire.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Bray Wyatt's return last time, with the whole White Rabbit and all the clues and everybody figuring out, oh, is it really Bray Wyatt? When is it happening and all that? And wrestling fans are the greatest detectives ever. So just the fact that they were able to dissect every QR code, which led to Bray Wyatt's return I think it was at Survivor Series, right? And then now fans speculating, all right, it is Uncle Howdy with a new family, and it's been rumored that they're going to debut at this upcoming event of Queen and King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. So it has a lot of people's attention, and I think a lot of people are going to tune in, especially to see if that's going to happen or not.
Honestly, let me ask you a question. Out of the whole Wyatt Six and Uncle Howdy, who are you guys most excited for to see in this new faction for
Alexa Bliss?
Well, yeah, she's coming back from pregnancy, so that's going to be good to see.
But it's even that, like, she's been gone way before that too. So it's like,
yes,
it's been a long time since we've seen Alexa Bliss in the ring, and the last time we saw Alexa Bliss outside of the gimmick, before the gimmick even began, like that build even started, she might have been the best wrestler on the roster on the women's division. She was put in crazy work for the longest time, and then the gimmick became with Bray Wyatt, and then that personality and that character started becoming something over the span of a year and a half.
Right. So yours is Alexa Bliss. What about you, Soto?
I like B's answer, especially if she's in it, because I know last time we heard it was a 50-50 whether she joins the group or she returns as the goddess persona. So if she is, that's a great choice.
I think she went on record and said she didn't want to do the goddess thing. I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, well, that's that again, those were rumors that or that they have for her, but of course she wants to work, for
her
Britain's legacy
with Wyatt.
Yeah, and she had a lot of fun with it. So to answer your question, I'm stuck between Gacy and Loomis. Loomis, because he's crazy as it is and doesn't say a single word.
That's my pick, Loomis.
And Gacy is because we've seen the craziness and what he can do in NXT. So now on the main roster, I kind of want to see what he brings.
And he's actually very, very underrated on the mic.
Yeah, and the fact that both personas, both characters fit in perfectly with what we're seeing or what we're being teased with. So yeah, I'm excited for those two.
And there's one other name too. Like I'm gonna agree with you. Alexa Bliss is definitely one. Nikki Cross. She's been sort of absent for a while, and they haven't had a real path for her to do. So I think her and Alexa Bliss in the same faction would probably do wonders for them, because we know Nikki Cross, when she was with Sanity, was probably her.
Well, she was doing her own thing. She was doing she was I think outside of WWE, She was in school and working on getting her diploma, which she got. So congratulations,
Definitely.
But before the hiatus, she would show up like backstage or whatnot, or even in the ring with just a blank stare.
She was forgotten.
And yeah,
Again,
So
cinema fits perfectly.
yeah, exactly. Long term storyline.
Yep.
So we'll just have to wait and see if that happens next Saturday. That's when the event takes place. Now on some AEW news, we got 3 or 4 AEW news before we wrap up. First one, Darby Allin returning. Darby was supposed to take some time off, right? He had his sights set on climbing Mount Everest, but I believe he broke his foot, I think it was.
Couple different
he suffered an injury, so he postponed the Mount Everest trip. And then shortly after, he got, what was it? He got like hit by a bus or something in New York, or a car.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah, like
his nose looked horrible.
Yeah, he broke his foot, canceling those Mount Everest plans, and then he was in New York, got hit by a bus, and the fact is, like, it's great to see Darby Allin, right? But he's not 100%. There's no way he's 100%.
I honestly, I didn't know how he got cleared. Broken foot takes a while to heal, and you're talking about.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Depending on what kind of break it was, yeah.
But he also
take like at least.
But remember, he also had a broken nose, and I think he also broke. He might have had an orbital socket broken too from the bus too. So that's a lot of.
Many people got hit by a fucking bus in New York City in the past 6 months. New York City transit down bad.
It's crazy, like,
crazy get hit by New York City bus drivers are fucking terrible.
Yeah, they're the worst.
I would say this: he's tough as hell if he's coming back, man. I give him kudos.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. I'm not surprised about him returning or him even competing in this match, right? And that he obviously, we're going to talk about Eddie Kingston in a bit, who he replaced, but the fact that the match is Anarchy in the Arena. Mind you, he's not 100% cleared. Mind you, the last time we saw Darby, right, or one of the few, he did a swanton off a ladder into glass. Imagine what we're in store for.
Oh God, you said that. I just got cringy.
He might legit die the next time we see him.
Well, we don't want that, but shit.
No. Like, he legit puts his body on the line. For AEW, for the fans, like it's crazy. So again, Darby in an Anarchy in the Arena match is definitely a must watch.
I don't know how he got cleared, but definitely kudos to him. Whatever he did.
So, fun fact: he didn't get cleared. He's out there just because.
He probably be like, "Oh yeah, doctors cleared me."
It's just a scratch. It's just a scratch.
Yes.
Next set of news that we have is Malachi Black's contract status.
Soto is excited to hear about this, so let's Soto, you have the floor. No one's going to speak. It's just you. How do you feel about Malachi Black possibly being a free agent?
All right, so I'm praying on everything that AEW does not pick up his contract, because remember last year he was dealing, I think it was like a calf tear or something, or either a calf or a knee injury, right, or both. So he missed some time, made his return in October, and has been on a tear right now, currently in a feud with Adam Copeland, right, for the TNT Championship. Now, again, so it's the part where his contract is coming up, and AEW has to decide whether to add an extension to that or not. I think personally, AEW will pick it up because he's too valuable not to pick up. He's probably praying for AEW not to pick it up, because I believe that when his contract is up or whatever, he's gone. he is legit gone. Yeah, they might build him up right now. Obviously, like I said, he's set to challenge Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship at AEW Double or Nothing. But he is gone. He's gone. They have misused him for
Since
the
the
fact
very
that he
beginning.
was a trios championship. All right, yeah, that was nice, but that's criminal. No, he's known as a single star. Should have been in the main event scene. Um, and yeah, they just messed him up. Like AEW legit fumbled him, fumbled Ricky Starks. There's a couple that they're currently fumbling
Keith
that I'm
Lee.
not going to mention, but when the time
Who?
comes,
Keith Lee.
Who?
Yeah. But remember, Keith
That
Lee,
one was terrible. He got fumbled in WWE. He got fumbled in AEW.
well, that was more because of Vince. I think if Keith Lee,
Fumbling is still fumbling, no matter who did it. The company fumbled it.
if he was under Triple H, same thing with Malachi, it'd be wonders for his girl. But I don't think Tony Khan is petty when it comes to renewing contracts like Vince would be. Vince would be like, "Nah, you staying." I don't think Tony Khan is petty like that. But at the same time, like Soto says, there's also you're going to lose valuable star power. But at the end of the day, AEW has a booking problem. So when it comes to booking stars and establishing stars, they've been sucking at it. Because this has been my gripe with Swerve being champion, which, again, well, I think a lot of us predicted he'd be champion this year. But his booking has just been shit. I'm going to call it how it's been. Like, it's been shit. And it's not a knock to Swerve, because Swerve is a fantastic wrestler, good everything. But his booking's been shit. So if you think about it, what better way to focus on your booking and do stuff if you let talent go that doesn't want to be there or wants to be out? We know Ricky Starks is going to see you later. Bye-bye. Hey, Cody. Yeah, thanks for the call. Yeah, I'll sign with WWE. Malachi Black. Why he wants to go to WWE? Zelina Vega, his wife. Makes sense. Same thing Andrade did. He's not stupid. He wasn't being booked properly. He went back to WWE. Why? Because his wife, Charlotte Flair, is there. Guess what? Keith Lee's going to do the same thing when his contract's up. He's not staying there. He sees the way Michin's being booked. He's not stupid. They're not stupid. They're going to go back. But not only that, they want to be closer. You want to be closer to your significant other. And that's the thing, too. There's the distance and everything else. Yeah, they're with each other. But that's also part of it, too. So, yeah. So I think we're going back to the
I think that's a big reason, right? But then also you got to look at WWE now, right? When Malachi Black,
I hope he goes back to WWE. He's going to be a monster.
When Malachi Black and Keith Lee were in NXT's era, that black and gold era, the way they were booked, they were unstoppable, right? They get called up and it was a joke, right? Which is why they left in the first place, right? But the fact that
shout out to Vince for that one.
Look who's running WWE right now. And you got to think of yourself like, all right, if I go back to WWE, it's Triple H running the show. He might book me the way I was booked in NXT back then.
I'm going to say
unstoppable and
beast.
Yeah, exactly. So
I will say
I think that's on their mind.
I'm glad in a sense that they got booked shitty, because you know what? Them coming back and having somebody else, it's sort of like a full circle moment. Because look, McIntyre, well, again, like we're going back to this, a lot of the guys excelled everywhere else. Granted, we know Malachi's been booked poorly in AEW, but we know if he comes back around to WWE, obviously it's not going to be the same rodeo he had before. So, in a way, it's weird, but sometimes the grass is a little greener and they can refine their skills and do stuff. So I get it, but he's definitely coming back. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah,
with a lot of others.
I previously mentioned Eddie Kingston and the injury update. So he did suffer an injury, right? During a match against Gabe Kidd.
I saw it too. It was terrible.
Yeah, in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Supposedly the injury occurred when Kingston was taking a suplex through a table, right?
Yeah, so what happened was he missed it. I think
they caught the guardrail, right?
His leg caught the guardrail and a bulk of it. So the guardrail's here. I think his leg went on it like that, like completely on it.
Yeah. So it's being reported that he suffered a tibular fracture, which again is super serious. We don't know how long he's going to be out. I mean, I know that for him, his goal is to return by All In London. Obviously, the All In is AEW's biggest pay-per-view. And it's unfortunate. It's bad timing, but I mean, injuries can happen at any moment. Just hope that he comes back stronger. Don't know. It's still unclear when exactly he's going to return, but for an injury of that extent, he's going to be out a while.
I don't know if he makes the pay-per-view. I don't be honest with you. Anything with the tibia is more serious.
I think it's the top part of the leg, right? Tibia's top, tibia's bottom.
I think it's the bottom of the leg. When you see the video, you see him grabbing at like the sort of like behind where the kneecap is at in the back of his leg instantly.
Okay, so fibular's top, tibia's bottom.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, it's
yeah.
Get well soon. It's just that there's no time to don't worry coming back. You'll be back when you get back.
It's crazy. Like AEW for the Anarchy in the Arena match, they replaced one injured superstar with another injured superstar.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because you could have had Ricky Starks, join Team AEW, but no, you want to bring in Darby Allin, who the poor man is still injured and whatnot. But that's
Ricky's gonna be in WWE in like 4 months.
Yeah, he is. That's also another one who's AEW bound, and it's crazy because I think he's been with AEW almost from the jump.
Yep.
So
things change, man. Things change. It is what it is.
Yeah. And the last topic that we have for today is AEW bringing in an authority figure to counter the Elite. So we've seen the Young Bucks, the EVPs, kind of take over, going against Tony Khan and the other EVP, Kenny Omega. But is it time, do you think AEW should bring in an authority figure like a general manager to kind of find balance within AEW?
Not opposed to it.
Not opposed to, yeah.
All right. And if there is one, who should it be?
I don't know. As long as it's somebody that has some kind of
maybe like a recently retired superstar.
I was going to say Sting.
Maybe like an icon.
Sting
could be. Does he want to be involved?
But that's the question. That's the question.
If he wants, like, he's done it in 50 some odd years. Like, bro, like
that's the question. Yeah, I mean,
might be going to wrestle together.
Yeah, because we know that, like, in the media scrum, we know that Tony Khan was, you could tell, trying his best to, wanting to keep Sting around, right? But he kind of seemed hesitant, and then also Kevin Nash went on record saying that he doesn't see Sting working as an authority figure. But I mean, we kind of saw a glimpse of Sting working as an authority figure during TNA.
Yep.
So it could happen.
I would say Sting, but I wouldn't. Does he want to be around wrestling right now?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. Yeah, that's the biggest question.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be around wrestling.
You have guys in there as is that you don't use and you could use, like Captain Insano, or Mark Henry.
Captain Insano he shows no mercy. That would be hilarious though. Captain Insano, his moniker is "I show no mercy."
Captain Insano, but yeah, you have people there as is. So I wouldn't worry about somebody outside coming in. You have guys in there who are respectable figures in wrestling.
Yeah.
For two examples, I'm just gonna say is Big Show or Paul White and Mark Henry.
Okay.
Two guys you could use
that
are veterans in the game that are very well respected. You could use that, if you want to go and join the other counterpart of Bust Open Radio, bring in Bubba Ray or Bully Ray Dudley.
Nah, he ain't gonna want to do it
AEW. See, you got Pete. He came out and said that he's willing to work with AEW.
He got a legend.
That was on several occasions he said on radio.
He said that. He said that, but here's the thing, and I'm with you. I think Bubba would be pretty good, but the fact is that Bubba has criticized them, right? And not in a bad way, in a in a
from a wrestler standpoint.
Yeah, from a wrestling standpoint, criticize them that Tony Khan is butthurt, and he's not gonna do that.
Amongst him and a lot of other people who said
exactly. Look at the way like Eric Bischoff, right, has criticized AEW, and we've seen the back and forth between Tony Khan and Eric Bischoff, and then I feel like it's like anybody who tries to criticize AEW, Tony Khan just shuts them down, right? And it shouldn't be like that because it's healthy criticism, right?
Right.
It's like you have a show. You have a show. Yeah, you have a show that once was producing 900 to 1 million viewers
on
average. And now you're under 700,000 viewers.
Last week, 2 weeks ago was 611. This week was like 680 something.
Yeah, and their biggest number was when they kept advertising the Punk footage, which was I think generated like 840 or 870. So I don't know.
Spike in like 3 months,
right? From a guy who was in another company, right? Like,
how's that going so far?
Yeah,
how'd that go since they put the footage out? What have they done with that since?
Biggest problem is he stopped focusing on his own product, started focusing on his competition, and that's where ratings.
His biggest problem is he is the main booker, and AEW is going to fail if they continue to have him as the main booker. He can have a say in the booking because he owns the damn company, just like Vince when he owned WWE. He has a say, but
Vince had glorified yes man. The only yes man is Tony Khan.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if your product's failing and you're having a hard time getting a TV deal, and you might be relegated to streaming come Max, I think something needs to change. And I think that was WWE's big dilemma when Vince sold the company to TKO, and obviously we know he got TKO'd out of the company. I had to throw that pun in there, but basically, yeah, they need better booking. AEW is in a weird spot, and I've had this conversation with Soto off record, off the podcast. It's in a weird spot, so hopefully they right the ship at some point. We'll see though.
Well, if there's options, they have plenty of people in company to do so in house.
I don't know. I don't know who would be authority figure besides Sting. That's the only person I could think, but I don't know who else.
Yeah,
not going to be Taz.
I don't know. It's just AEW has a lot of potential, right? Listen, it's not copying, but you can do an idea of when you came up with Collision, right? Separate the roster. You're overloaded, like with such talented people, right? Separate the roster and give other people time to shine and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
You can have a GM for Rampage, you can have a GM for Collision, right? And then with Ring of Honor, you need to. I don't know. Ring of Honor has become something that I barely recognize because it just went up in flames. Like I don't really recognize the product anymore.
It's
ever since Tony Khan bought it.
It's too much. It's too much. You're pushing the same people, and you keep having the same people take pins and do this. And this is why you have a lot of people wanting to leave AEW to go to WWE, go to anywhere else, TNA, anywhere else, because you're not pushing people.
Bring back Lucha Underground.
Yeah, word.
Say.
And real quick, the fact that there's also rumors that AEW is planning to do a new show. As soon as I saw that, I rolled my eyes. I was like, "There's no way!" Like, if it's a behind the scenes show, then I find that cool. I'm like, you know what? I'm for it. But if it's another wrestling show like Collision, like Rampage, like Dynamite, I really don't know what to think. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean,
you're gonna bring yourself out.
Yep.
You're gonna dilute your product. So not the wrestling product. You're gonna dilute your product itself. And the best part is, where are you going to watch that show?
Word.
Where? Mondays is Raw. Tuesdays is NXT. Fridays is SmackDown.
Probably Thursdays.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday?
But I don't know if they want to do that to Impact Wrestling.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I don't know. It could be Sunday. I don't know. To be honest, it's such
unless you have tapings that go through and you throw it on before PLEs or for them pay-per-views, you do that. Or you
Oh
can
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
if you do that, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because when it was WWF, when you had Sunday Night Heat, that shit was great. You had an
Velocity.
or an hour before the pay-per-view even started, so you got everybody bought in beforehand. And then I think it was what? I think Heat was
Sunday.
Raw.
Heat or Sundays,
Velocity was SmackDown, and then they made Heat all the way through. And then when it became WWE, they changed it to Velocity, and then became what? Was his main event?
Yeah, sometimes they had main event. Like it, I don't know. It
was
just
great.
went
You would
nowhere.
watch Sunday night. You would watch fucking 6:30 to 7:30, and then half hour before you hit the
I liked Sunday Night Heat because Sunday Night Heat it was like sometimes you would see the big stars kind of further push their upcoming match later on that night.
Yeah,
so it's like
sometimes you get two matches one night. So Austin would like wrestle like I don't know Goldust, and then fight the Rock after the Rock fight Goldust, whatever the case may be. I don't know. It was fun. Those were the days. But if that's the route they want to go, it's not a bad route. But how are you going to set it up?
it just needs an
Everything
organized structure.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
It's our ball. Our ball is all ball. That is what it is. Whatever the case may be. But who knows? We'll see what they do. But what we will do is wrap this shit up because we got some New York sports on fire. Henry, you're kind of New York still because you're PA. You're kind of like, off to the side, but you're still involved. So we gotta wrap it up, folks. We got a big day ahead of us. Before you wrap up, we're all in agreement with Knicks wins tonight. Okay,
I would hope so.
All right, who wins? Denver or Minnesota?
Denver.
Denver. Okay.
The refs are good. Let's see we gotta see who's refing the game. If it's Scott Foster, it's Denver.
Scott Foster might be New York. I don't know. I gotta look everything up. Anyways, we'll get to that later point. That'll do it for us today's episode of the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in week in and week out. If you haven't seen the link tree yet, it's still up for grabs. You'll see it all the time. You want to check us out? We are live on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. If you can't see us, if you can't watch us, if you can't hear us, you can watch us on YouTube. We have our runs on Twitter. You want to read everything we have going on? We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, you name it, we're on it. I'm not going to go down and have the 45,000 things we're on. If you want to start your own podcast the way we do, all you have to do is just sign up with an app called the Podcasters app. Once known as Anchor, it is a app that is now collab with Spotify, YouTube. All you got to do is just email, and it's free to sign up. You too can start your own podcast, just like what we do. If you want to go ahead and produce and push your podcast, what we do. You want to save your live recordings, you go on Zoom for a small nominal fee. You too can now save all your audios and all your visuals for postings. If you want to have somebody that can promote it for themselves, like we do with StreamYard, same thing, small nominal fee, and you too can now push wherever you want to push it. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. You can honestly pick and choose where you want to go. So what, 3 or 4 options at a time, depending on what plan you have. But yeah, it's a small nominal fee, and you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
Westwood 1, we are coming for you guys. I hope y'all know. So until then, I will see y'all later.
Yeah, I'll check on everyone. And for those listening, thank you for tuning in. And we appreciate it if you like and subscribe. And yeah, till next time.
Till next time. Later, everybody.